You're about to see the video of Donald Trump achieving the art of no deals once again today in his utterly demented.
Donald Trump's ascent to the presidency marked a significant shift in U.S. economic policy, with his early months in office being almost entirely defined by a singular, overarching strategy: the implementation of tariffs. Welcome viewers to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, like my video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. Trump consistently championed these tariffs as a panacea, a cure-all for the perceived ailments of the American economy. His rhetoric often promised that these protective taxes on imported goods would not only resuscitate the nation's struggling manufacturing sector, bringing jobs and industries back to American soil, but also significantly reduce the national deficit, thereby strengthening the country's fiscal health. This unwavering belief in tariffs as a primary economic lever set the stage for a period of considerable trade tension, particularly with key global partners. Canada on the brink. The grocery aisles as a new front. Given its unique position as the United States' largest trading partner, Canada's smaller, more vulnerable economy was inevitably poised to bear the brunt of any prolonged trade war. The interconnectedness of their economies meant that Canadian businesses and consumers would face direct and immediate consequences. While the ripple effect of these tariffs was expected to touch the price of virtually all consumer goods, from electronics to clothing, it was the grocery aisle that quickly transformed into a particularly contentious battleground. The everyday necessity of food, combined with the visible impact of increased prices, made it a highly sensitive and impactful area for Canadian households. In the face of these economic pressures and the looming threat of higher prices for imported American goods, Canadians responded with a remarkable display of defiance and national solidarity. Public sentiment quickly coalesced around the powerful slogan to "Buy Canadian." This grassroots movement, fueled by a desire to support domestic industries and reduce reliance on American imports, almost immediately spurred rapid and measurable drops in the sales of American products across various sectors. This collective act of economic patriotism underscored a deeper conversation within Canada about the urgent need to fortify its own economic backbone and reduce its long-standing dependence on its powerful southern neighbor. In this context, the challenges within Canada's own grocery sector, even beyond the direct impact of U.S. tariffs, came into sharper focus, prompting calls for a significant reboot to better serve the fundamental needs of Canadian citizens. The paradox of plenty: rising costs versus soaring profits. The issue of rising grocery bills was not a novel concern for Canadians that emerged with Trump's inauguration. Indeed, it had been a simmering point of anxiety for years prior. By 2024, the situation had escalated to an alarming degree, with an estimated 18% of Canadians grappling with significant food insecurity. This widespread struggle was directly attributable to a persistent confluence of factors: relentless inflation that eroded purchasing power, and the steadily rising cost of living that made basic necessities increasingly unaffordable. The severity of the crisis was starkly illustrated by food banks, which reported a record number of monthly visits during this period, indicating a deepening chasm between household incomes and the cost of sustenance. Yet, in a striking and deeply controversial paradox, even as ordinary Canadian consumers found themselves squeezed by these escalating costs, the nation's dominant grocery giants were consistently posting record-breaking profits. This stark disparity ignited widespread public outrage. Loblaw Companies Limited, a retail behemoth whose supermarkets collectively command a formidable 28% share of the Canadian grocery sector, became the undeniable poster child for this disturbing trend. The company's financial performance became a symbol of what many perceived as corporate exploitation during a time of widespread economic hardship. A concrete example highlighting this disconnect occurred in the final quarter of 2022. While Canadians were acutely feeling the pinch of rapid inflation on their weekly grocery bills, Loblaw announced a staggering $529 million in profits for that period. This represented a remarkable 30% increase from the previous year, further fueling public anger and reinforcing the perception of unchecked corporate greed. This significant surge in profits amidst consumer struggle led to vociferous accusations of profiteering leveled directly against Loblaw and other large grocery chains. The public's indignation manifested in tangible ways, including a massive 100,000 signature petition specifically targeting what was dubbed greedflation, a portmanteau capturing the anger over prices rising due to corporate avarice rather than solely market forces. This public outcry culminated in a highly publicized and impactful month-long boycott of Loblaw chains, as consumers sought to exert pressure through direct economic action. These events unfolded while Loblaw was already contending with a lingering negative fallout from a significant bread price-fixing scandal that had previously resulted in a substantial $500 million antitrust settlement, further eroding public trust. In a move intended to address the mounting public and political concerns, the federal government took action in 2023, convening a high-level meeting with the chief executives of Loblaw, Sobeys, Metro, Costco, and Walmart. The stated objective of these discussions was to explore strategies for stabilizing grocery prices across Canada. Subsequently, then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau escalated the government's stance, initially threatening and later implementing concrete amendments to the Competition Act through Bill C-56. It's important to note that while these reforms were a direct response to public pressure, their primary focus was less on immediately lowering grocery bills. Instead, the legislation aimed to empower Canada's competition watchdog with new, enhanced tools to investigate and address anti-competitive practices within the industry, signaling a long-term commitment to fostering greater fairness and transparency. The march of automation and the specter of dynamic pricing. Beyond the immediate price concerns, the Canadian grocery landscape has also been undergoing a profound transformation driven by technological advancements. Since 2020, supermarkets across the country have embarked on an aggressive investment in self-checkout aisles. While their initial proliferation was indeed a pragmatic concession to the imperative of social distancing during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, these automated kiosks have swiftly become a ubiquitous and often unwelcome fixture of the retail experience for both workers and consumers. The concerns surrounding self-checkouts extend beyond the simple observation that they effectively pressure customers to perform work previously handled by store employees. More significantly, they have been a major contributor to the increased precarity of supermarket employment. These technologies are fundamentally designed to reduce total worker hours, often leading to the elimination of well-paying, full-time positions in favor of fewer, potentially lower-wage roles, all with the explicit aim of boosting corporate profit margins. This shift represents a significant challenge to the stability of the retail workforce. Loblaw, as a leading player, has also extended its automation strategy beyond in-store operations. The company has made substantial investments in automating its fleet of delivery vehicles, directly jeopardizing jobs within the critical logistics sector. This development is particularly concerning at a time when Canada's unemployment rate, already struggling to recover from broader economic challenges, was anticipated to rise further due to the cascading effects of Trump's tariffs, creating a difficult confluence of job market pressures. Adding another layer of complexity and potential consumer anxiety is the looming concern of dynamic pricing. Following the precedent set by American grocery stores such as Kroger, major Canadian chains, including those operated by Loblaw, Metro, and Sobeys, have begun to implement electronic price tags.